Hey guys, Legendary Grimlock here, and today we have can the Mystic Force Rangers stop the Saiyan invasion? Yeah, this is actually pretty interesting. And believe it or not, we're actually going to have to do tier equalized. Now, when I do tier equalizations, I mean their attack potency and, their AP wise, is pretty much equal to each other. So they can't really go beyond that set tier with their AP. So meaning their strength, durability, and haxes are all within a tier. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because the Mystic Force Rangers actually outscale the Saiyans here, like drastically. And the reason why is because they actually scale pretty high when it comes to Power Rangers in general. Like, if it really wasn't for like Super Mega Force, in all honesty, which was trash, um, I would actually say they're the strongest lineage of Power Rangers. And even then, in Mega Force here, they were actually considered to be one of the greatest upgrades of all time compared to other Rangers. Keep in mind, they had unlocked things like Jungle Fear and Dino Thunder at that time, which are the top three strongest, or sorry, the other top two strongest lineage of Power Rangers. So yeah, they're pretty busted and ridiculous. So, the reason why I chose the Mystic Force Rangers is because they can actually like do things themselves that other Rangers can't. Like, they can actually turn into their Zords here. They have all these powers, hacks, and abilities and stuff like that. But I think that's pretty much enough here. Let's actually talk about the scaling and why they pretty much upscale pretty much anything the other Rangers have done here. Now, we have Optimus. Now, Optimus was the main villain of the series, and they would pretty much scale above him as well. They were able to defeat him, and not only that, they're actually able to contend against him as a team here, even better than characters like Limbo and the Mother of All Magic. Now, the Mother of All Magic is actually a much stronger version of Rita Repulsa, who was pretty much purified of all that evil magic. Now, this is important because Rita and Zed were confirmed to be able to destroy planets and stars with their power. Yeah, so a much stronger version of Rita, or much stronger Rita with that much power, already exceeding the solar system level attack potency here, as they already are able to destroy planets and stars quite casually, and even being able to destroy beings who are able to endure supernovas. So in all honesty, yeah, the Saiyans would have absolutely no chance here. At the best you can get them is definitely like large planet here. Now, I have seen a lot of metas for the Saiyans to be like solar system level, and I'm just not really convinced by it. It's more of a highball than anything, because it's just like, wait, so you're gonna put the Saiyans around the same level as someone like Super Perfect Cell when they come back? Huh? How does that work here? Then if they were solar system level, they would just outclass Frieza. But then I've also seen like Namek Saga being put on a solar system level. Again, I would have to really look into that, but I'm not really convinced by that. I do think that they get close to it. I mean, they're respectively around the large star level, so it should be fair, right? But yeah, the Saiyans will have, their Cybermen. They'll be able to all go grade A, and they'll all be arriving together here. So yeah, with that being said here, I think the Saiyans would arrive and crash land in Briarwood, which is where the Mystic Four Rangers take place. And once arriving, Nappa definitely turns the city into a glass floor. We'll say that they're after Udana so that she can give them to see the secrets to all powerful magic and stuff like that. Now, I do think the Rangers would be able to see this. By the way, Vita is like one of the baddest pink Rangers of all time. Like, oh my gosh. Now, yeah, Nappa turns the city into a glass floor. Then, well, the Rangers see it, and I actually think the Rangers would be very pissed off about this here, because they just lost a good chunk of their city, a good chunk of innocent people there, and possibly their work boss or something like that. So they would probably ranger up where they're at and just go and attack the Saiyans. In all honesty, this would probably be a bad idea because now they're all bloodlusted at this time. As I do think they would take that Nappa destroying their city like pretty hard in all honesty. Now Nappa would definitely deploy these Cybermen, and I definitely think the Cybermen get like washed here by like any ranger, even in on like a one-on-one situation. You see, even if we say like one of the rangers could do it pretty easily here, and in all honesty they could here, they wouldn't really waste time with the Cybermen, especially now that they're bloodlusted and taking this fight full pretty much seriously here. Like Nick by himself would either do one or two things. One, they could go into their boxer mode, which is another mode they have here. They had like a lot of things. I think the boxer mode was actually pretty funny because like they could use all these magical hacks and abilities, but yet they could also just run the hands. But in all honesty, Nick could just blow them up like pretty easily. Then you have Vita, Madison, Chip, and Xander, who could all use their elemental powers and abilities respectively, excuse me, and just take them out. So yeah, the Cybermen just get dealt with quickly. Now, what about the Saiyans themselves here? Would they attack one on one? And since it's like a 5-on-1 situation here, I don't really see it happen. Sorry, a 5-on-3 situation. Yeah, I don't see that happening. What I actually see happening is like the Rangers definitely attacking the Saiyans, and then they start like splitting up into groups, hopefully dividing and conquering them, where we would probably have Raditz versus Vita and Madison. You will have Nappa versus Chip and Xander, which will actually be a pretty fun fight. And then Vegeta would take on Nick. Keep in mind, again, the Rangers are bloodlusted, and they wouldn't be holding back any of their haxes here. And Raditz would probably get done the dirtiest on this one because Vita's wind and Madison's water manipulation are just straight up broken altogether. Now, again, in a tier equalized situation here, I do think Raditz would definitely have the speed over the two, and he would definitely exploit that. I don't think there's any if, ands, or buts about it. He would honestly exploit the raw speed advantage he has here and try to land as many attacks as he can. But again, the Rangers can honestly just defend themselves with whatever magic they have. Like Vita can actually create like a frog shield. By the way, I should have mentioned this earlier. I'm going to list the powers and abilities in the description down below and just leave a link to it. So just go to that link and yeah, watch it from there. Now, it's very possible that once Raditz really starts trying to like press these girls here, they're going to go into their Mystic Warrior modes, and in all honesty, it's a wrap. Yeah, they have too many spells, too many hexes, and it just starts to overwhelm Raditz repeatedly. So, in all honesty, the girls would probably get it done. Now, do I think they discover Raditz's tail weakness? In all honesty, I'm gonna have to say no to that one as well. The reason why is because I don't see the girls going to like grab his tail or anything. I do see them maybe slicing off his tail as kind of like, I don't know, kind of like an extra tactic. But again, they would have to get really lucky to discover their tail is the weakness. Now, on to round 2 with Chip and Xander versus Nappa. Now, this will actually be the funnest one because Xander does not mind like brawling, like fist fighting any of the other monsters in the series. And Nappa being a brute, this actually goes in pretty well, especially with him and Chip both having like no problem like brawling at all here. And it's one of the most benefiting fights. It's probably it would probably be one of the what am I trying to say here? Lost my train of thought. It would probably be one of the crazier hand-to-hand fights within the series here. You have Xander and Chip using their boxing modes just to fight against Nappa's, better brute strength and all that stuff here. And in all honesty, yeah, I would I could definitely see it. He would definitely be able to brawl and beat up the likes of of Xander and Chip here until they really start applying their like speed and agility to their combos and stuff like that. And it's very possible they probably won't fight Nappa in a brute strength with them being bloodlusted, and may just do something along the lines of like restraining him and then hitting him with multiple shots of magical lightning, just straight up roasting him. And then we have Nick versus Vegeta. Now, this would actually be pretty interesting, as I do think Vegeta might taunt Nick if they're still in character. I do think the Saiyans would be more in character than the Rangers at this moment here. And I actually think Nick would press Vegeta with that boxing glove mode, and then Vegeta would probably go for a Gallic gun when he's really, really cornered here. However, this is when Nick probably would go into his legendary warrior mode or his mystic warrior mode and stuff like that here. And that's when I kind of see the fight just wrapping up there. Nick might even be petty enough to go into his Phoenix Zord mode and just straight up knock the Gallic gun away. Because again, the Mystic Phoenix or the Titan mode, Mystic Titan modes are a lot stronger than the Rangers base and a lot stronger than the Rangers the Rangers legendary warrior mode, excuse me. Now this would be where Vegeta does have to activate a power ball here and everyone becomes great apes. Now great ape Raditz, Nappa and Vegeta together is definitely something that should not be taken lightly. However, I do see this moment where the Rangers definitely go into their Mystic Titan mode, and it's pretty much a wrap from that point here. I mean, they still have their hexes, they still have their abilities, even when they're in those Mystic Titan forms. Plus, they could still use their other hexes and abilities when they are in the legendary warrior mode. Yeah, they could also use that with the Zords as well. So them using all these hacks and abilities, and plus it's very possible they could go into the Manticore Megazord here and just straight up roast all three Saiyans. Like, it's really not fair at this point here. Now, the reason why I do think the Saiyans would lose here is really because they're just not really built for magical attacks in general. And I mean, their magical attacks here do bypass the durability of the Saiyans here. And I can actually see them getting enraged to the point where they're trying to destroy everything. Maybe even use a combined assault to try and destroy the Rangers. But again, they could simply just either disperse, they could easily reform, or again, they could use their just magical attacks to block it and keep going. Keep in mind that each Zord or each Titan pretty much plays their role pretty well, being strong, fast, durable. They all have their own weapons and stuff like that. And again, they could all just go into the Megazord. Nick could even add to his power with the Unicorn Zord. And just, or I think Catastro, excuse me. But yeah, they could add to their own power and stuff like that. They could each combine into the Phoenix Megazord, or sorry, the what is it called, dear God, the Mystic Warrior or the Wizard Megazord or something like that. Yeah, they have all that, and the Saiyans would just get dominated from there. And keep in mind, I'm not even adding Solaris Knight, Korag, or Fireheart, which would honestly just be overkill at this point, even in a tier equalized situation. So in all honesty, as unfortunate as it is here, the Saiyans straight up lose because, number one, the range would be bloodlusted if they pretty much showed up in the verse here. And I do think the Saiyans keeping that personality, being, jumped and isolated from each other pretty easily. Plus, they really don't have any chemistry working together here. It would kind of just give the Mystic Force Rangers a decent win. But that's going to be all today, you guys. Please comment down below, like and subscribe and share it to friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I'll see you guys for the next video. Peace.